Did you know that you can improve your photography without making a single photo? In fact, without even touching a camera. The foundation of great photography is built on crucial skills that all the great photographers rely on. Without these skills, you will not be able to create your best work. If you're ready to listen, then I'm ready to share something that hasn't been recycled 100 times.
Sounds like a total gimmick.
Improve photography without a camera.
Next, you're gonna tell me I can get better at swimming by sitting on the couch.
Of course he's gonna get to the good stuff and tell us the gear he's using.
Nope, I will not talk about gear in this video. No, it's not a gimmick. And of course, yes, you can improve without a camera. Now, just to be clear, I'm not going to be talking about something really weird. Of course, you need a camera to make photos. It's just that photography is so much more than pointing the camera, looking through the viewfinder, and pressing the shutter button. The skills that I'm about to share separate the real photographers from just people who make photos or who are button pressers, basically. These skills are quite simple. They're free to acquire, and maybe in some very small way, they might even change your outlook on the world. Imagine you're sitting in a cafe. People all around, life moving past. What's your instinct? Grab that phone, right? Don't freaking do it. Often you'll have the greatest show on earth unfolding in front of you, and you miss it because you're distracted. How do you think I got photos like these? The core skill that made all of them a reality is simple. It's observation. Being a lifelong observer of body language, human interaction, facial expressions. And it's not just about people. I'm talking about light, nature, the world in general. The foundation of everything I do, everything that many of your favorite documentary photographers of real life do, it's not some theory, not some secret tip or technique, and it's definitely got nothing to do with gear. It's observation. I'll be honest, I sometimes struggle to stay away from the distractions myself. And I know that many of you are much worse than me. That's why you have to make the effort, because without developing this simple skill of observation, you're missing the core, the fundamental ingredient that's needed to create great photos of real life. Sure, you can avoid photographing people and just photograph still life or nature, or you can pose people. There's nothing essentially wrong with that. But if you're chasing that serendipity, the spontaneous magic, then this is really where it's at, before anything else. As banal or as silly as it may sound, everything begins with observation.
How do you even know you're improving? By observing. You can't measure that. What do you even do with all these observations?
That's right, you cannot measure improvement just from observing. And I'm gonna tell you what you can do with all of these observations. Years ago, I was reading this book on storytelling. I, for the life of me, don't remember the name of the book or the author, but one tip from this book really stood out to me. The author suggested that you should write down anything noteworthy that happens to you in your everyday life, whether they're odd moments, something beautiful, dramatic, because if you don't write it down, you'll forget. And if you do write it down, if you remember it, then these can be the ingredients to your stories. And sure, for many of us, a photo is that record, but you can't photograph everything. The idea is that you keep a simple database of these observations, moments. It can be a spreadsheet, a workbook, whatever works best for you.
Just what's the use of these collected moments and observations?
Sir, I'm not trying to become a writer. I want to become a better photographer.
Yeah, I get you. Chill out. It's all gonna make sense. These collected or stored memories, moments, they're gonna feed your imagination. They can very possibly inspire future photos, and they can sharpen your eye for the unusual, which is pretty great if you want to make photos that go beyond snapshots. A quick story that I want to share. Over the years, I've had many moments like this, but since it's still stuck in my mind all these years later, I figure it's actually pretty worthwhile. Quite a few years ago now, traveling around Armenia, I still remember one scene just so vividly. Driving into Yerevan, the capital, I would pass this middle-aged man, mustache, suit, very striking character, and he was selling bouquets of flowers by the highway, by the roadside. He'd lean out, stretching these flowers towards the passers-by, hoping that it would attract their attention and someone would buy it. It all looked so cinematic and almost surreal. I never managed to stop in time to capture this, which was frustrating because while the moment was very simple, it was a little bit unusual and just really, really photogenic. So while making this video, I decided to recreate this scene with AI, and check this out. Honestly, it is unsettling how close this is to what I remember. These images are not perfect. Like, if you zoom in, you can see that the skin has that plasticky look that AI is often guilty of, but it is close enough to take me right back there to this moment.
I knew it. You've crossed over to the dark side. Now we're never gonna know which shots are real and which are AI.
I am not interested in replacing photography with AI, not in the slightest. But that doesn't mean that AI cannot be incredibly useful for us as photographers. For me, this is more like sketching in a notebook. In this case, it brought the moment back to life. And this motivates me to make more effort to find a way to stop next time. Even shows me how I could have framed the scene. And I think that things like this, they just make you more ready for the next time. And speaking of being ready, being prepared, this is where observation and this database of moments starts evolving into the next skill. Hey, real quick, if what you're watching in this video resonates with you, then you will love the ultimate method to amazing photos. It's all about, you guessed it, making amazing photos. The kinds of images that will give you the edge, that'll make you stand out amongst the endless sea of imagery that we have today. Inside is a complete system built on practical skills from the field, which don't depend on gear, technology, or trends. Just timeless tools that'll actually make your photos powerful. That's it for my little interjection. Observation teaches you what's possible. And when you know what's possible, you start to kind of be able to predict what's going to happen. You start to be able to anticipate. Good anticipation is most obvious in street and documentary photography. In capturing those fleeting, unrepeatable moments, you can instantly tell when a photographer was great at anticipating. They knew what was about to happen even before they pressed the shutter. But of course, anticipation is relevant to almost any kind of photography that involves people. Even posed shoots can benefit from good anticipation to capture just the right expression or just the right body language.
How do I become better at this? So many times I feel like I am too late to capture the moment. It's gone and that's it.
Just use the burst mode, baby. 30 frames per second will do it. Burst mode? That's not even photography.
Actually, I am not against burst mode at all, but even if you want to use burst mode, you're still much better off if you're good at anticipating. You even need to be good at anticipation for video. You need to know where to place yourself at what angle, depending on what's about to take place. Here's an idea. Next time that you have a chance to observe life, the world, whether it's in a cafe, in a park, on the street, wherever, skip the phone. Watch what's happening and try to anticipate or to predict what's about to happen. No pressure to make photos, just enjoy the game. And each time that you guess right, you're developing your instincts that may very well lead to some magical photos.
I was hoping you'd teach us something about actual photography, like composition.
Rule of thirds, leading lines, Fibonacci, techniques, tips. Please teach me about this.
But of course, all that I'm talking about is photography. Remember, as I always say, photography isn't just about pointing the camera and pressing the shutter. And the same thing with composition. It's not just about those textbook concepts. That's a very rigid and basic understanding of composition. Composition is fluid and it's part of a bigger whole. It's about aligning elements, people, objects, light within the frame. Observation helps you spot those elements, those ingredients. Anticipation helps you time when they'll come together. And composition principles, they are just guides that help bring everything together in an orderly manner. The reason why I don't talk much about compositional rules is because they're not the end goal. Like, you could have a photograph that's perfectly composed in terms of the textbook composition, but if there is no tension, no moment, no sense of story, even that perfectly composed photograph is going to end up incredibly boring. On the other hand, if the ingredients are there and if you've timed the image well, then even having the composition a little bit off in those textbook terms could still lead to a really, really powerful photograph.
Okay, so let me confirm. First, you learn to observe, to pay attention to life. Then you keep a database of your observations and moments.
And then you learn to anticipate people, anticipate how the elements align in the frame, and that's what shapes your composition?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, my therapist did say I'm putting too much pressure on myself. Maybe not having the pressure to make photos could be good for me.
Definitely, the things that I've mentioned, they can be a naturally calming and a subtly creative part of your everyday activities. And I mean, if you look at it, then almost anything is better than just looking at the screen all day.
Yeah, but I like staring at the screen. Don't tell me what to do, man.
Hey, not telling you what to do, I'm just suggesting. But if you do want a bonus tip on how you can improve without a camera, watch whatever you watch outside of photography, but try to limit your consumption of bad photography. Focus on the kind of work that inspires you, something that you want to make. Feed your eyes and your mind with something you aspire to, not just funny videos or memes.
This is all well and good, but I just want to hit the streets with this beautiful beast of a lens. I'm sure to get some great snaps.
Hey man, if you want, go for it, but you really don't need that beast of a lens or expensive gear. And I know that for some of you, it goes in one ear and out the other, but it is really true. If you'll develop the skills that I've shared in this video, then you'll have an almost unfair advantage that's free and completely independent of gear. With these skills, you'll make better photos than your gear-obsessed friends who are always chasing the latest, greatest stuff.
Wait, what? Make better photos than me. Come on now.
Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. I hope that I've given you some food for thought, maybe a different outlook on how you can improve photography even without a camera. Of course, all of this might lead you to wonder, I hope it leads you to wonder, well, how do I now tell stories with my photos? What if I told you that photos don't actually tell stories? Sounds a little strange, right? I explain exactly what I mean and why this changes everything in this video right here.